What's up guys, Hades here. Today I have an awesome video for you. I always review matches talking about the macro game, but today I want to dive into the micro game. So we just had a really close match against Vex this week, and I'm going to be honest, I played very poorly. I made a ton of mistakes. I'm going to show you all the things I did wrong, and usually we can learn the most when we're reviewing or looking at something when we lose or fail to do something properly. And it's important to know what is good and what is bad. Now, the first mistake I made was sending a ton of people into aggressive locations on this tower, knowing that Vex knows that this is a priority. And you're going to see very quickly that they just absolutely dominate this tower. It's not loading in. Hopefully the game fixes itself. There we go. You can see they have very aggressive locations, and they're going to block all of these. These are going to get blocked, and these are going to get blocked. And this is going to become a massive uphill battle. Now you can see my line is yellow, and I go to this somewhat not, the reason it's difficult because I'm not in line with my teammates. But the reason I did this poor location is because there's this red one, and as soon as I noticed that this was happening, I went here, and my teammate went on top of theirs late, so they were gonna get canceled, and so they actually made the mistake of going into this location, and I went here. So we're technically overlapping, but it's actually gonna be better because I'm gonna be able to land, and you're gonna see it here in just a moment. Now, why are they so aggressive? Well, because the top side is closer to Tower 4 than the bottom side. I've talked about this in previous videos. It's imbalanced. I've suggested to the devs that they fix it. I hope they do in following seasons or maybe playoffs. We'll see. But you can see here the site land is right there, and he's right in front. So it's just not fair. It's not balanced. Use this, abuse this in your matches if you can. Now, here I land, and I'm going to kind of slow down the gameplay. I usually go ×4 and play the whole thing. I'm not going to play the whole match. The whole match doesn't really matter. I'm going to show you all the things I do well and all the things I did very poorly. Now, for context, I'm running attack. Most people play defense. I have been preferring attack recently. I like the teleport aspect. So I'm going to slow it down. And I have landed. And I'm already calling out plays for the team. But I'm also in desperation mode. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 to 5. This is absolute desperation. We are almost 3 to 1. And I know this. And so I am saying, guys, we need to be aggressive. We need to stall as fast as I can. You can see I start a rally and I landed as fast as I can. But I don't use my main, and I don't get a main from my teammate, so we don't get the win. At this stage of the game, we're on week 5. Mains have gotten quite strong. Then I take a free hit, and then I take a second free hit because I was being hyper aggressive because I had my main set in a rally on both this player and this player. So I was playing hyper aggressive because I wanted to try and get some damage and create some sort of an opening for us. Now, I believe this was my first mistake. Because they're going to target me, I am the closest to tower, I'm adjacent to 2 people. I needed to be calling for my teammates to garrison me. I should have been less aggressive with my main march, and I should have been more aggressive with rallies on my second march and obtain mains from my allies. But due to the panic and due to the desperation of the play, I did not want that. Now, the second reason I'm hyper aggressive is I want the attack teleport. I want the points to be building up as fast as possible. So after I die, I know I'm going to die. There's no way we should ever live here. I'm going to die, and I'm going to teleport to support my middle or to maybe invade the home or to defend something else that they may go for at a later time, right? I know this is a possibility for me, and that's why I'm being hyper aggressive. In retrospect, I wish I had been less turbo aggressive because I'm taking free hits from the player right in front of me. I finally decide, okay, I need to keep my main. You can see there, I defended the hit, and then I'm sending a rally to the side. Mainly focusing him because he's already taken so much damage. We can very easily get a quick kill here. And you can see we have a bunch of players who are going to start to reinforce us in the back. And if we can stall and do damage faster than them, we can create an advantage. Now, you can see a lot of their players haven't done anything, right? They're not applying pressure. It's only these two players versus me, and we're actually winning the battle. So my hyper aggression hasn't been for naught, right? I'm going to get rallied and soloed on repeat. I've taken another free hit for no reason. I should never lose a 1v1. At this stage of the game, fire versus fire, you're pretty much always going to get a tie, right? You're going to get a neutral hit. I wasn't calling for defense. I was calling for aggression, and that's why no one's defending me. I know I'm not defense. If I was defense and I had bubble or I had revive or something like that, I would be calling for more defensive measures. But because I don't have it, I don't really care. Now you can see we've gotten 1, 2, and we're about to get a third player. And now the advantage for them isn't quite as dramatic as it looked. We've gotten 2 hits left on him, and I have 3 hits on myself, and then we've gotten 2 hits on the additional players. So we've gotten much more value, and none of my other teammates are burning, I believe. Yeah, there's 1 hit here, and the rest are completely untouched. Had we played this slightly better, we would have more mains into defending me because it's a single hinge point, and then we would have been using 5 seconds to get attacks on these 2 players because I don't believe they're getting much reinforcement. Now, after I go through a little bit of this replay, I will be showing some of my setup. Nothing special this week. Again, I revealed a lot of it last week. Nothing really changes. Standard metas and fundamentals don't really change much. And you can see here now we've finally applied some pressure. We're 1 hit away, and we're getting close to taking down the player next to me. And I'm down to 1 hit. And I'm just swinging wild. You can see my main. It doesn't, for me, at this point, I feel like I've done my job. I don't want to be here any longer. I want to just get some value, get out, and use my teleport. That's the whole mindset here for me. Now, did I play perfectly? No, absolutely not. I made a bunch of mistakes. But what I did do was I created pressure onto my castle. And what did that do? It provided my teammates time to build a kind of fortress around me. Now we have 9 players to their, I believe, 13. And now we have a fighting chance. Now we can press the edge of the tower. We got rid of this player, and we're 2 hits from getting rid of this player. And now this tower becomes almost an advantage for us. But here's the thing. That's all about the micro. Now I'm teleported. I've shown all my mistakes. But what happens? Well, they gave up Tower 1 for free. We own our home tower. And they're overcommitted to Tower 4. So now we have priority in the middle. It just opened. Players are looking to kind of find an advantage. It's pretty close, but we're first to rotate. You can see all these lines, right? We're first to rotate because they're stuck here. If they out-rotate, we're going to win this fight, right? So that's kind of what I want people to be thinking about. When you play your matches, what is your role, right? If you're in the front, what do you do? Learn from my mistakes. Don't make my mistakes. Be a little more defensive. But don't be afraid to be aggressive. You're still going to find value. Now, looking at a few kind of reports here. I want to find a good one. Here's a pretty good one at the end. I got I taught this in the last video, making sure the troop number's right, making sure the power level are similar, that it's a main versus main. And I went with just a tiny bit of a test. I went with a Merlin carry instead of Wu. It was average. This is a better than average report. This player is using some pretty decent skills. Pretty meta. I'm not a big fan of coercion, but I'm getting good value here. And I can't complain with this kind of result. I'm not a huge fan of Con unless there's water teams, but most people don't run water because Con exists. So, it's a tricky meta. You're going to have to figure out what you like most. See if there's anything else. It's a good report. Here's actually a pretty good report. This player had a very good team, using full fire with side assist. And you can see here, this is not a main. I'm not using a main. And then the third person is not using a main. And it takes pretty much 3-ish, barely 3, probably 4 to beat a main at this stage of the game. And they have the skill to hold fast on. So things to keep in mind as you move forward. Rallies are going to be more and more important. Do not lose hold of fundamentals. And if you guys like me teaching you and showing you the ways of IB League and how to be a champion, let me know in the comments below and make sure to leave a like, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.